What's up, guys? It's Yuga. I am setting up the filter. The water smells terrible and I found out why. This is why it is critically important. Cannot emphasize that enough. Critically important to thoroughly check your drinking materials. Because I found something atrocious. Don't even know how this got by me. Anyway, I'll explain as I'm finding it. So, sanitation, critically important. One, just for regular water in general. Two, especially for the H3O. Having zero particulates is ultimately the goal. That's why I have the filter that I do. Not a sponsor, just a very efficient tool and means and medium to get this work done. You can figure out your own method. You can just use distilled water. I prefer to just completely brew my own. That's one of the biggest steps to this whole thing. Can't find the exact stone. This is good enough. All that discoloration is hard minerals, titanium dioxide, iron oxide, other stuff, and other stuff. So, do not want that in your water, otherwise you're doing what I have to do right now. And it sucks. I had about half a gallon I left in the filter and I can't drink it now. It almost makes me want to throw up. So, I am a sponsor. Don't get paid for this, but it's a family thing. So, Norwex. This saves my life. Incredible company. My mom sells for them. Microfiber cloths, high and premium. They have silver embedded into it, so I'm disinfecting anything and everything that would be undesirable. And this is a quick demonstration I'll show you. This is all the Shungite I got in the last week, most of it. That's all from the filtration system. I had to go through, figure out why my water kept stinking. Found some of the sources, some of the problems, had to take out a little pieces that were just not to my standard. Worked at an airport, worked at a 5-star restaurant, doing a lot of sanitation and cleaning. I know how important and I know how to do it efficiently. I can honestly say this is the most efficient tool you can have. All you need is water. So I'll have a link in the doobly-doo for that. Okay, so I've just done this the first time. When I first get my Shungite, like I did with this stuff, I'll get it in a pot. And then I'll boil it, break up all the powdery stuff. That's why my hands get black. That's why all this is black. If you can see it, that's from all the Shungite. Oh. From all the Shungite. So having this pan, you can stir it, see what dirty, because this was all in the water, so most of this was already clean. But all the dirt that just gets in from this point to this point to just cleanliness is godliness, literally. I'll just do a quick demonstration. This is already good. And then when you have it, you want some light source so you can look closely. And then when you're also looking for your dirty Shungite, which I do see another piece. And another piece, and another piece. See, that's why you want bigger pieces, honestly. There's just so much to go through and sift through. Really know your source, really know that they know. So you know you're getting good sourced material. Also, Shungite can be used some way, but I need the best, purest carbon for my work. Now, most of this is mixed in with Elite Shungite. I am getting another pound, so that would make the process a lot easier. This is 30 gallons, or this is 30 cups, so I roughly need close to 500 grams. This is, I didn't weigh it. I had definitely enough beforehand. This is a lengthy process as it is, so I'm just gonna brush over. You're going to want to stir that. Look for your whatever, like hairs, whatever floaty bits. As some pieces of shungite collide with each other, they'll break off and they'll get into your water. Not entirely not safe, but when you're doing freeze tests, it'll definitely mess with your results. So, you're going to just pour it to the corner and this way, so whatever surfaced will fall completely. Now that's just something I picked up before recording this. It's partially why I wanted to record this. Just another efficient way to get the same results. Okay, so I'm pretty content with how much I have, what is inside this. I'm familiar that most of this is going to be pure carbon, and that's ultimately the goal. Anything else, there are some pieces that have pyrite. I'm not too concerned about pyrite. Yes, it is an iron oxide issue, but if you have enough shungite, it will counteract whatever pyrite, and you're going to keep your system completely usable. Now, eventually, I would say about a month to within your next second month, you're going to want to clean everything out, let your shungite dry. The more your shungite gets wet, the easier it is for the pyrite and other stuff to break through and contaminate your water. Okay, so now we got that part. I'm going to drain this a little bit more. This is sink water. We don't want sink water. Just because from what I've seen in my area, there's so much pollution that shungite alone is not enough to filter out the water, which is very depressing. Yeah, shungite will take out the chemicals, but if you straight up have pieces of plastic, which I have seen in straight up faucet water, that's not going to take it out. So that's why I have the zero water filter that will take out everything and anything. Also drastically reduces my filtration cycle time. Okay. Now I'm going off one leg, so that's part of why this is a tedious process. Now, if you could be a little bit gentler than that, please do. These are fragile, especially the elite shungite. The bigger stones you have, the better. Same amount of weight of stones. Personally, I feel the smaller stones and the more amount, if it is the same amount, let's just say 50 grams, a 50 gram piece will not be as efficient as a bunch of 1 gram 50 pieces. Just surface area, that's the only thing I can say. Just double cleaning my hands, because the next thing I gotta do is set the stones. So if you have a different setup, you don't have to worry about this process, but just so the viewers that are interested get an idea of what it takes and what it really you have to put in to get in these results. Because I had to figure this out all by myself. When I went to Sedona, and talking to a local there in Sedona, they straight up said I was the best, most informed shungite water maker they've ever come across. If that's someone from Sedona, then I'm pretty sure they know what they're talking about. And this will actually probably be better to keep close to your target number versus how much you need for your actual drinking water versus how much you're actually trying to filter at one time. Part of the problem I was having with my filter is the water was only getting about this much. And I believe that was because of the way the distribution of the shungite versus the water, just the gravity and whatever, was not letting it rise up. But it doesn't make sense all the way because I had a lot more than my original setup and this thing was filling up all the way. I mean, at one point I had meteorites and magnets in the water. I do not advise or suggest that. Okay, now just gotta get the top. Remember, sanitation, very important. This is going into your body. This is why I take the extra time and effort to make sure I get this right. Also because it's better than drinking nasty water, and it's better than having to spend $5 for a gallon of water I know I can make better than a giant millionaire manufacturing company. Easy, clean, efficient. We're on a roll. Alright, now for the people that are familiar with me from Beyond the Veil, thank you so much for your guys' support. Just because of the health advisory and legal stuff, I am not telling people or selling H3O. If you meet me in person, you want to try it, that's your own risk. I can only speak from my own results. I have not got this officially tested. All I have is a particle reader. That's as much as I can tell you. Now, if you know the research between the zero water filter and the Shungite, I'll just leave it at that. Anything beyond that, that's on you. You are a responsible person. You can make your own choices. I am very glad you decided and chose to spend your time with me and watch how this process is done. Now, for any questions about how to further get into this, this is a very lengthy process and it takes a lot of time to get anyone to properly understand this. So please make sure you know what you're doing before you invest, because it takes a decent amount of money to get good results. So in alignment with that, if someone would love to learn about this process more, know where to get some decent materials and what to look out for, please contact me through my email, but I will need to be charging for my own time. This alone, with having to take care of my animals and set up and take care of my own life with already my busted up leg, I wish I could just push out the information. There's a lot of resources. This is how I did it. Just be consistent, be thorough. That's the best advice I can give if you're trying to do this as cheap as possible. If you're trying to save time and you got the money and you got the resources and you want to set something up, I'll guide you step by step to make sure you can get your own radionic setup complete and your own Shungite water. I cannot promise that if you have all the materials that I do and you want to make radionic water, that you will get the same results. This is something I've spent 5 years of my own life into to finally even barely understand what I'm even doing. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much again, Paradigm Shifters, Beyond the Veilers, anyone and everyone just checking me out as you pass by. Voice of the Dragons, aka Cosmic Radionics, however you want to call me, I'm Yuga, the Crystal Guy. Peace.